Hey guys, Becky here with Design Bundles, and I'm super excited to have you join me today because we have a really awesome tutorial for ProCreate. We are talking about taking clip art and turning it into stickers. Okay guys, so this is a really super easy tutorial I'm going to show you in ProCreate today. The first thing that I want to do is I'm going to come out here to designbundles.net and I have chosen some clip art. Now these cute sleepy sloths are really just adorable. They really spoke to me because I feel like a sloth maybe is my spirit animal. But I'm going to go ahead and download that to my iPad. Now I am on an iPad Pro, but as long as you can use some sort of Apple Pencil or stylus, you should be able to recreate this in a lot of different softwares. This one, like I said, is ProCreate. It is really a pretty go-to software. So let's go ahead and allow this to download, and then we will unzip it and use it in ProCreate. Now, once the download completes, you can click on it and it will take you to your downloaded items. I want to locate that zipped folder, hold down my Apple Pencil on top, and then go ahead and choose Uncompress. And that is going to unzip that folder for me so that I can access the clip art. And then what I'll do is go in ProCreate, go ahead and start a new canvas. For my purposes, any size will do. And once I open it, I can choose the little wrench icon for actions. It will open up where my files are stored, so then I just have to locate where that downloads folder is. Feel free to explore a little bit if it doesn't pop up right away. But basically I can locate the clip art, and any of that clip art that I downloaded, because it's already been unzipped, I can import it into ProCreate. Now, let's also hit the pause button because it's also important to say that this is clip art with a transparent background. So I'm going to open my layers, choose my background, and change the background color to black. Now, we don't actually really care that much about the background, but the black is what's going to give us the most contrast for the next part we have coming up. Now, I can choose any brush from my brush library. I just want to make sure that it's a brush that's going to give me a nice border. And what I'm saying about that is that a lot of times your different textured brushes and things like that, they're not going to give you the outline border that we're looking for here. So you can definitely experiment a little bit, but that is what we're looking for in a brush. So after choosing your brush, you want to go up to your color options and choose white. Technically, you can use any color, but white is what's going to work best for this project. Now, the ultimate goal is to draw around our clip art here to create that white border that you expect from a sticker. Now, in order to accomplish that without compromising the clip art, as you can see here, I'm playing around with it a little bit, but what you want to do is you need to create a layer and then slide that layer underneath the layer that has your clip art on it. Now, when you get ready to start drawing the outline for your sticker, you can come over here to the left-hand side and adjust the thickness of your brush tip. So, because if it's too thin, then it's going to be harder, and if it's too thick, then your outline will be too bold. So find that sweet spot that works for you. So after creating that new layer and sliding it underneath the bottom, then all you're going to do, and this is really easy guys, but it's also very soothing. So that's why I really wanted to show you this tutorial, because I love experimenting in ProCreate, and I feel like I have a fairly artistic soul, but I don't really have a lot of artistic skill to go with that. So I think that ProCreate is a really nice blend of being able to use elements that you're familiar with, such as this clip art, but then being able to kind of make it your own. Now, I don't mean that in a copyright aspect. This clip art is definitely not your own. But, you know, being able to come in here and make these types of adjustments and modifications is just something really simple, okay? Now, why am I doing this in ProCreate when there are other software available? Now, There are other software available to me, but that doesn't mean that there's other software available to you. Or if you're like me and you're really trying to learn to experiment in ProCreate, then this can be just another way for you to come in here, experiment, play around, and get comfortable with the software. Because just like with any software and any learning process, getting comfortable really is the first step of learning how to make your own designs and make your own templates or your own files, however you want to look at it. So I really enjoyed coming in here and learning the ins and outs of using the Apple Pencil to create the outline, and then how thick do I want the outline, and can I erase the outline. I did this with 2 different pieces of clip art, so you will see both of them. But one thing I also want to point out is this is a great way to combine different elements also. So if I were new to hand lettering and I wanted to add some hand lettering to these stickers, then this would be a really great way to do that. And then I would be able to add the outline to both of the designs at one time. So, there are definitely a lot of different software available, and ProCreate is just one of the many wonderful tools that you can use not only for your own creating, but to really use these elements that are already available to you and embrace them and use them for what you need them for. So go ahead and feel free to sit back, and you'll kind of see a little bit of my process of going through and adding this type of outline, and then we will talk a little bit more about what to do when we're done. Now, of course, my outline is far from perfect, but I think this guy is really cute. If you open up your layers panel, you'll see kind of how your outline layer looks a little jagged. And of course, you can go ahead and fill that in. But for the final concept, you want to make sure that your outline layer is underneath your clip art. And then to combine the two, you can click on the little InDesign and then choose merge down, and that will combine these two so that they're now on the same layer. Then you'll be able to grab them, pick them up, move them around. I'm going to go ahead and complete one more piece of clip art. That way we'll have more than one to take a look at whenever we're done. But it's going to be the exact same process. So I'm just going to speed it up a little bit. That way you guys don't have to sit through the same thing over and over again. But then we will still reconvene and take a look at how to bring this finished project over and use it. We're going to use Cricut Design Space just as an example, because I feel like my Cricut users are the ones who are going to get the most benefit out of this, because you guys do not have a natural offset feature. So I think this is a really great tool for you guys, and we will talk more about that after a while. So I am going to slow down just a little bit here at the end after you fill in the entire design. And I kind of skipped over this on the first one, but you can actually go in there into your layers panel and you can delete that background, because we don't actually want this to have a background. We want a transparent background. And I took care of that, and then I did the same merge down. And then that is going to give me just that nice finished piece of sticker or finished piece of clip art, however you want to look at it, to be able to use with my machine. Now let's go back to our gallery, because we can easily share both of these clip art. What I want to do is click select up at the top, then click on both pieces of clip art, and then I'm just going to share these via email. So that just makes it really easy for me, but you can also connect this with your USB cord to your computer, whatever works for you. But I find email works really great for me, and I can send those over and be able to bring them into my computer to use. So here we are in Cricut Design Space. Now I did email those files to myself, and then I downloaded them to my computer. So let's go in and find them. This is just a blank canvas. I'm going to go to Upload and Upload Image, and then Browse. And if I go to my downloads, here we go. We have Artwork 1 and evidently Artwork 4. And I'm just going to go ahead and select the first one. And you can see that it does have that transparent background. I'm just going to go ahead and choose Complex down here and Continue. And again, if you want to check it out, you can zoom out and see my hand-drawn layer. And I do want to make sure that I'm using this as a print then cut. Now I can go ahead and upload the next one. and then select them both and bring them into my design canvas here. Now, they did come in rather large, so let's make them a more manageable size. And let's just go ahead and change our background color. That's not going to affect anything as far as how this cuts or prints, but it will just give us to where we can see that that outline stayed with our clip art. Now, like I said, mine needs a little bit more work. It gets to be pretty blaringly obvious that this isn't something I do a lot, but you know, like I said, getting in there and experimenting is definitely half the battle. So if I click over to make it, it should set this up as a print and then cut. And like I said, they're a little on the large side, so I would want to size those down, but it will absolutely print this and then cut around the outside to give us that white sticker layer that we like to see. Because especially, and that's why I wanted to use this one as an example, it would be really hard to use the end of this balloon as a print and cut. So adding that border in there, and you know, that would also be hard to do in Cricut Design Space, because we do have a little cheat tutorial to show you how to make your own offset. But for something as thin as that, being able to use ProCreate, in my opinion, is just very, very useful. So that is what we would do if we were trying to use these as print and cut stickers in Cricut Design Space. But remember that you can use these with any type of print and cut software. You can do this in Silhouette Studio or your brother Scan and Cut. But these are just really two cute examples of using ProCreate to set up your own sticker files from Clipart. So guys, how do you feel about using ProCreate with Clipart to make those stickers? I absolutely love that tutorial. Of course, you know, stickers is just the beginning. This is a great, easy way to create offsets and use print and cut and all sorts of things. It's really unlimited. So even though I say stickers, and that's the example that I've given you, hopefully this will really open a lot of opportunities for you and your crafting. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for today, guys. But if you have any questions or comments, please make sure you leave those down below. I do love to hear from you. Make sure you give the channel a quick subscribe, maybe turn on notifications. All of that helps us to support our little crafty channel here and to keep bringing you these videos in the future. So thanks again, guys. I do appreciate it, and we'll see you again next time.